Hey folks, how you doing? It's Mark. Well, I purchased another guitar off of AliExpress. This time I did the Gibson Les Paul Custom Black Beauty. Used a different seller than the one that I used for my previous purchase, which was the Gibson Les Paul Standard and the Paul Reed Smith Custom 24 copies. I had purchased those two guitars together from an altogether different seller. They both came on the same day, and I recently did the unboxing video where I displayed both guitars. This time around, I've used a different seller from AliExpress. Not that I was dissatisfied with the other seller. I just wanted to try something different. Again, I found this other seller to be awesome. The communication was great. Anytime I messaged them, they would be contacting me within an hour, maybe a couple of hours at tops. And I was giving these guys the business all throughout the day and night. I had a ton of questions, and no matter when I contacted them, they got back to me right away. I originally had purchased a 3-pickup model, but they had told me very quickly that if I wanted the 3-pickup model, it was going to take a few extra weeks for them to do the construction and whatnot. They had some 2-pickup models in their factory that were ready to go, and they asked me if I would want the 2-pickup model. I requested that they take some money off since I'm not getting a 3-pickup model. Why should I be paying the same amount for the 2-pickup model? They said that they would throw in a really nice guitar strap. They couldn't really take any money off. So let's see if the guitar strap is in the box. Again, they sent me pictures from different angles. So the communication was great. The pictures they sent were great. Let's see how their workmanship is. I always know going into these purchases that I'm probably going to have to swap out pickups, maybe even swap out the tuners. Look, you're not getting a real Gibson Les Paul. You're not getting a real Paul Reed Smith Custom 24. You're not spending thousands of dollars. Do you get what you pay for? In most cases, yes. So you don't go in knowing that you're going to get a great guitar right out of the box. There's going to have to be some tweaking involved. We all know what we're getting ourselves into. We know we're not passing them off as the real deal, that we can't sell these guitars someday and say it's a real Gibson Les Paul, it's a real Paul Reed Smith Custom 24. We know what we're getting. But with a little bit of tweaking, spending a couple of dollars on new pickups, maybe a new bridge, new tuners, you've got yourself a pretty darn good guitar. And I don't know, is it a slap in the face to the custom manufacturers that the Chinese are making a really good guitar that is comparable to what the American factories are making? I don't know. Is it the American workmanship isn't what it used to be, that the Chinese are doing a really good job? I don't know. I'm just here to purchase a guitar that I could use on stage as a backup to my real Paul Reed Smith Custom 24, the one I purchased from Sam Ash around a year ago. I'm not looking right now to put these things on stage and say, yes, it's a real thing. Is there the moral issue involved? Is there an ethics issue involved? Is it right that we should be purchasing these guitars and playing them out in public so people think we are playing a real Gibson Les Paul? Hey man, I'm not worried about it. There's a lot of people out there carrying knockoff purses, knockoff sunglasses, knockoff watches. Nobody seems to care. If I choose to play a guitar that says Gibson on it and I put some money into it and I'm playing it up on stage and I just love the fact that this guitar sounds good and I'm having a good time during this performance, that's all that matters. So I'm not trying to pass it off as the real deal. I'm never going to sell these guitars. Anything I buy, I'm holding on to. I also build my own guitars, so this is nothing that I needed. It's nothing that I have to have. It's a novelty as far as I'm concerned. If there's an ethics or a moral issue, you be the judge. As always, I welcome comments, both good and bad. I don't like to put the sellers' names out there. If a person wants the seller's information, send me a private message. I'll gladly give you the seller's information. But I found AliExpress to be the most reliable guitar company to work with. Why? Well, unlike some other companies out there that make you give a deposit and then they build the guitar, and then when the guitar is done, you have to send the rest of the money, AliExpress takes all the money up front. You pay them for the price of the guitar. They hold on to the money. The seller then has to complete the guitar in a certain amount of time. They send you the guitar, you receive the guitar, and only when you contact AliExpress and confirm that you've received the guitar and you're happy, do they release the funds now to the seller. This gives the seller the incentive now to actually get the job done, get it done right, and get it to you within a certain amount of time. If they do not send you the guitar in a certain amount of time that is specified on the website, they cancel the order, your money is refunded, and then you got to start the process all over again. So I do recommend using AliExpress. I've never used Alibaba. I've never used DHgate or any of these other companies. I had a horrible experience with Rare Electric guitars. I'll probably put another video up of me just describing that because it's going to take up way too much time. I know you guys are anxious to see what this guitar looks like. But I found AliExpress to be highly, highly reliable. Excellent communication with the two sellers that I have used. I would definitely recommend them to a friend. All right, let's open up this guitar. Let's see what we got and go from there. As usual, it comes packed up in styrofoam. Very good packing tape. No problems on the outside of the box. I don't see any dents or anything. Nothing that would make me be concerned. So right now off the bat, it's been shipped correctly. Everything is good. So far, so good with the outside of the box. Let's cut it open. Let's see what we got. And again, it's well packed. Good styrofoam. Feels very light. I don't know if this guitar is going to be as heavy as the Les Paul Standard that I got the last time. But right off the bat, I can tell this box feels a lot lighter than what I was used to with my first purchase. I'm going to try to open up the box neatly so I don't drive my girlfriend nuts with the styrofoam pieces flying all over her beautiful kitchen. Let's see what we got here. I have to make a few more cuts just to get this guitar open, get the box open. But so far so good, man. I think wow, they really packed the baby tight. This may be a very messy unboxing. Right, so far so good. There's definitely a Les Paul style guitar in here, and there's styrofoam pieces flying everywhere. All right. As usual, the case candy stuff that they send you, well, they honored their word. They put in the guitar cable. It's a cheap cable, nothing really great. They put in the Allen wrench to adjust the truss rod, as you can see. But they also did include a strap and, wow, a guitar pick. Now, is this strap worth the price of a pickup? Well, it all depends. The pickups that they use, these Wilkinson pickups that a lot of times they put in, are cheap. They're microphonic. Maybe it's a $10, $15 pickup. So the guitar strap that they put in there is probably the same price. It's pretty flimsy. It's nothing great. Oh, I'm sorry. They put in two guitar picks. Some no-name picks. Nothing nothing labeled. Just a regular guitar pick. Okay. And the black one is on the floor. Guitar strap. Nothing fancy. Just a standard guitar strap. Nothing you couldn't buy in Guitar Center for probably $5. But they did remain true to their word. They said they were going to put a guitar strap in the box, and they did. All right, now for the guitar itself. Again, very well packed. Oop, actually, this is a pretty heavy guitar. Inside the styrofoam box, it felt a lot lighter. All right, packed up very well. No complaints so far. Feels pretty bulky, pretty solid. But let's unpackage this from the plastic wrap here and see what we got. Wow, very nice. A lot of styrofoam, still sticking to it. Looks good so far. All right, got the Gibson logo. Looks like mother of pearl or abalone inlay. So far the inlays look really good. I wanted an ebony fretboard. They said it's an ebony fretboard. I know ebony is hard to get these days. I think they're using something called sapel. It's a different type of wood. So far so good. Knobs feel pretty solid and tight. Electronics feel pretty good so far. Standard Chinese bridge and a two-pneumatic bridge and stop tailpiece. So far so good. Pickups, standard humbuckers. I wanted the 5-ply binding. I got it. Gibson logo up top. Les Paul custom on the truss rod. I know it's supposed to just say custom. On the back, pretty much the standard stuff. It's got the Made in USA. It has a serial number, which obviously doesn't match up to anything. Standard Chinese tuners. We'll see how these things are. Is it in tune? Not even close. We'll have to tune it up. Action looks pretty good. It's actually set up pretty low. I really can't complain. We're going to have to see about that when we finally tune it up, see if there's any dead spots. Fingerboard seems a little dirty in some spots. Could use a good cleaning. Not going to complain about that. Neck seems pretty tight in the pocket. Doesn't seem to be moving too much. Standard covers on the back. Nothing really too fancy. Things seem to be cut pretty well. Sometimes when you buy these guitars, the control cavity is cut a little bit wider than the actual cover itself, so it shakes a little. Same thing with the pickup selector cover. So far, so good. A little bit of, not a very good finish job here on the edge. I don't know if you can see it, but right there seems to be a little bare wood showing instead of where it should be painted. But again, you're talking a $200 guitar. You're not spending a lot of money for these things. It's not a real Gibson Les Paul. You got to be a little patient. So far, so good. Some cracks where the binding is on the bottom over there. I don't know if you can see it. Right around here, some imperfections in the binding. Let me just get my finger in the right spot. Right there. Okay. But again, I'm not complaining. This is going to be a workhorse on stage. Input jack, strap button, the other strap button, everything seems to be in the right spot. And again, we'll see how it sounds. But just looking at the guitar, it's got some weight to it. It feels about as heavy as the other Gibson Les Paul copy that I bought. I didn't want it to have the pick guard on there. I'm going to take the pick guard off. I don't like the way the pick guard looks on my Les Pauls. But again, so far so good. So far, no dead spots on the neck. Well, I'm going to do a sound test video, but so far I am not dissatisfied. Those couple little imperfections on there, I'm not going crazy on it. Why? Again, it was a $200 and something guitar. Don't go crazy over something that you can't change or control. I can control changing out these pickups. I can put in 500K pots. I can put in a better pickup selector. Pickup selector so far so good. The one thing I don't see so far would be there it is, the little nib that goes on top of the pickup selector, the little rubber piece. It came with it. Here I am looking at it thinking it didn't come with it. Plastic over the pickups, plastic over the pickup selector poker chip. Again, not a bad guitar, guys. We're talking a copy of a Gibson Les Paul Custom with the 5-ply binding, the 2 pickups. I didn't want the 3 pickup model. I did request, I wanted black screws for the pickup rings. They said they were going to do black screws. They put the silver screws. Again, I'm not complaining. It's a $200 guitar. So far, so good. Feels really solid. No cracks in the finish. The finish is done well. The Chinese know what they're doing over there. They're making a very good copy. I'll probably end up putting locking tuners on only because, you know, the common problem with the Gibson guitars is that the D and G strings, because of the angle of the strings from the nut to the post, it's such an extreme angle that you get a lot of slippage in the nut, and a lot of times the standard tuners, it will not stay in tune. Anybody who's owned any Gibson guitar with the 3x3 tuners will tell you that. I'll probably be swapping them out for locking tuners at one point, but right now the ones that are on there are doing the job. I really can't complain. So far so good. We will see what happens when I plug it in, but it feels good, except for those couple little imperfections. I'm going to give this like a 9 out of 10 so far, just on looks. When it comes to playability, when it comes to staying in tune, let's see what happens. But right now, I can't complain. So far, so good. Any comments, please leave them below. I welcome comments, good or bad. I have no problem. I'm not one of these guys that gets himself all bent out of shape because somebody has a negative comment to say. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Good or bad, put it out there. This is how all of us learned how to purchase these types of guitars. Everything I've learned about purchasing guitars from China, I learned from watching YouTube videos. Hopefully something I said today will spark your interest. You'll want to go get one of these guitars yourself. You know you're not getting a real Gibson Les Paul. You know you're not getting a real Paul Reed Smith or whatever ones you want to order. You know what you're getting going into it. but with a few modifications, you can make these guitars into a really awesome playing beast. I know I will. So, all right, I'm pretty much done here. Going to go tune this baby up, throw it on the amp for a little while, play it, see what happens, and go from there. Again, I welcome comments, good or bad. Hopefully you guys will see something that might spark your interest. If you see anything that I've left out or anything that I said wrong, hey man, throw it in the comments as well. I'm not above learning something new. But so far, from looking at it, no complaints. Happy New Year, everybody. I'll see you soon.